Yes, it's John G. Sutton. Tales from the Jails. Right, I want to talk today about the remuneration of prison officers and why it's difficult for the prison service to recruit staff. Now, when I joined the prison service in 1974, I applied. 1974, I was accepted and took up position in January of 1975. And when I joined, the pay was approximately £35 per week, plus allowances, of course. And a police officer's pay was approximately the same, maybe just a little bit less. Seriously, prison officers were getting paid slightly more than policemen, which is hard to believe, but that's what it was at the time, and it was considered to be a career. At least that's the way it was portrayed. You know, you could join as a basic grade prison officer and progress through the ranks, and that was how it was, and that's how I thought it would be, because I couldn't join the police because I'm colourblind. You see, couldn't join the fire service because I'm colourblind, and I had been in the army. So I decided that I'd join the prison service. Anyway, so it started off at £35 a week, and then of course we had in the 70s we had a great deal of problems with the oil crisis. You know, you people may not remember, but they did issue petrol coupons back in 1973, I believe it was, when there was an oil crisis due to the Arabs putting an embargo on the exportation of their oil. Yeah, in my opinion, we should have just walked in and taken it from them, just say thank you very much, because basically all they're doing is feather in the nest, and look what they're doing now, these Arabs. You know, I mean, I'm not racialist, but what they're doing is they're using all the money that they've accrued from holding the West Bank to ransom with their oil, and they're buying up all the big hotels, loads of property in major cities like New York, London. Bought the Dorchester Hotel, yeah. On the top floors of the Dorchester Hotel is the entire suite, or blank two of the entire suites. The entire floor is owned by the people who bought it from Saudi Arabia, I believe. Good luck to them, but they haven't actually earned it, have they? They've taken the money by extorting the West. That's us, with the exorbitant prices for their oil. Anyway, so the way that prison officers are remunerated, in the final year that I was working in the prisons, which was 1984 to 85, the last financial year, I still got the pay slip somewhere, and it showed that I'd earned nearly £18,000 in that year, and that's going back 37 years. Today, you have a look, they're advertising it all over Facebook, prison support work, yeah? And they're advertising a prison officer's job starting at I think it's £21,000 a year to work 40 hours a week in shifts, on shift system. That's including an enhancement for working weekends and working evenings and working nights. £21,000 a year. And they wonder why they can't get any staff. I'll tell you why they can't get any staff. Just go and have a look. I had a look at, I think it's called Job Charmer. Somebody sent me a list of jobs he wanted me to have a look at for one of their members of their family. And they were advertising a job on there. I'll just tell you this. It was a car park attendant, and they were paying £27,456 a year. That's for car park attendant. It was £528 a week. Yeah, and you apply to work at Strangeways, and you're going to get £21,000 a year. Now, it's quite dangerous in Strangeways, I believe, still. Yeah. And that, dear friends, is why they can't recruit any staff. I saw one job advertised. It was for, seriously, this lady in London, her husband is looking for work, and she suggested these jobs, and would I have a look at them? Because I work as a consultant, you see. And one of the jobs he was looking at was as a security officer at Morrison's, and they were paying, go on, have a guess, £21,000 to work 40 hours a week at Strangeways, and to work 40 hours a week at Morrison's as a security officer, 39,000. Who in their right mind is going to go and work at Strangeways? 18-year-old kids. And also, listen, they've got things called private prisons now. Birmingham Prison, I believe, was taken over as a private prison. You know, sold on to things like Group 4 or whatever. Yeah, and all the court services are run by private individuals. They're using taxis to take prisoners from prison to court. Yeah, everything's been removed. And where is the discipline now? There can't be any discipline, and it is, in my opinion, I mean, all right, I may be a little bit old-fashioned here, but in my opinion, it's an offence for a private company to exploit individuals who are incarcerated under the justice system of Britain, to exploit them for profit. That is a diabolical disgrace. I mean, it should be run by the government. It should be a government service. It should be the prison service. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I believe it should be run properly and not like it's being run today by a bunch of profit-seeking scallywags. Seriously. Anyway, that's my little rant for today. I mean, how do prisoners get in there? They're seeking profit, aren't they? Stealing money off people. My opinion, these big corporations that are running the jails, they're doing nothing much different. They're taking money from the country. And all right, there's staff in the prisons, but to what extent are they doing any good? They're not rehabilitating the prisoners, are they? All they're doing is locking them up. And as for running the cells with televisions and Xboxes and I don't know what other games they're playing in there, certainly they should have sanitation, but there should be, people say, well, the prisoners there to rehabilitate them. The prison system at the moment doesn't rehabilitate anybody. There has to be, like they have in Sweden and Denmark and the Netherlands, a system whereby you enter prison and your sentence is to imprisonment. There may be a minimum sentence that you've got to serve, but the actual maximum is open, because you've got to go through a program of socialisation. A lot of people who found themselves in prison have never been properly socialised. They've never been actually accepted into society. They've come through a family. It's a cycle of, what's they call a cycle of deprivation, whereby it's a rite of passage. You know, you expect to go to young offenders of prison. It used to be postal. Yeah, you expect to go to approved school. You're expected to end up in prison. And you're expected to lead a life of criminality, because that's what your grandfather did. That's what his father did. That's what your father did. And if you don't do it, well, you're out. So then that cycle of deprivation, that cycle of criminality needs to be broken. And they won't do it with the system that they've got at the moment, putting 18-year-old kids in there. And people have accused me of being sexist here for saying that I don't agree with young girls going in working as prison officers. It's nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with whether they're female or not. It's to do with how they can do the job. And I absolutely know that violent men need to be dealt with in the same way that they are dealing. Yeah, you've got to fight fire with fire, not with frilly knickers. Get the idea? Anyway, I'm now going to torture you a little bit because I missed out the other day. So today, here we go. You're going to get a... So Tom Waits wrote this. Rod Stewart recorded it, had a big hit. But the best version, in my opinion, is by Tom Waits. I'm a big fan of Tom Waits. And this is his version of Downtown Train, as interpreted by John G. Sutton. Outside another yellow moon punched a hole in the night time. I climbed through the window and down to the street. I'm shining like a new dime. The downtown trains are full with all those Brooklyn girls. They try so hard to break out of their worlds. You wave your hand and they scatter like crows. They have nothing that will capture your heart. They're just thorns without the rose. Be careful of them in the dark. Oh, if I was the one you chose to be, your only one. Oh, baby, can't you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? Every night it's just the same. You leave me lonely. I know your window and I know it's late. I know your stairs and your doorway. I wait down your street and past your gate. I stand by the light at the four-way. You watch 'em as they fall. Oh, baby, they all have heart attacks. They stay at the carnival. But they'll never win you back. Will I see you tonight on a downtown train where every night is just the same? Oh, baby, will I see you tonight on a downtown train? All my dreams just fall like rain on a downtown train. I don't think that'll survive, do you? I reckon it's parked up. And now a little poem which has been requested. Believe it or not, you look at my comments, people are requesting this. This is not written by me, this is written by Robert Browning, but it is one of my favourite poems. And I'm going to read you Home Thoughts from Abroad. Oh, to be in England, now that April's there. And whoever wakes in England sees some morning unaware that the lowest boughs on the brushwood sheaf by the elm tree bole are in tiny leaf, while the chaffinch sings on the orchard bough. In England now. And after April, when May follows, and the white throat builds, and all the swallows, hark, where my blossomed pear tree in the edge leans to the field and scatters on the clover blossoms and dewdrops at the bent spray's edge. That's the wise thrush. He sings each song twice over. Get lost. Lest you think he never could recapture that first fond careless rapture. And though the fields look rough with hoary dew, all will be gay when noontide wakes anew. The buttercups, the little children's dower, far brighter than this gaudy melon flower. Written by Robert Browning when he was in the military in the Greek islands. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed today's Tales from the Jails. This is John G. Sutton. We'll meet again. Don't forget to subscribe and all that.